Well, we're counting down there, and it started over again. That's why I jumped in right here. And we'll go ahead and start the show. How about it? There we go. Make sure I'm on. I'm hearing myself. Happy Friday. We finally made it, right? Wait, we work in baseball, so every day's Friday, right? Every day's awesome when you get to play 27 outs, right? Every day's awesome. Got a little nice. I mean, this is frosty stuff. Let's roll the open. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. There we go. Welcome to Monarchs Mocha. Dan Vaughn with you. And the show that started it all. There have been many teams have done this very same thing. But we were the first. Glad you're along this afternoon. Now we say goodbye to the lunch hour in about 8 minutes. But gosh, I'm like 6 minutes early for me. Had a little drain problem at the house this morning. You ever thankfully, I've got the greatest wife because she just called the maintenance folks. Said, come fix it. So, yeah. Nothing worse than you're in the shower and you're like ankle deep, right? You know something's wrong then, right? So that was kind of the deal. Monarchs were ankle deep in trouble last night, too. It was a rough one. Yeah, let me see adjust the camera here too. My camera is a little. Let's adjust this camera. There we go. That camera much better. Isn't that amazing? The two cameras I've got, that one is much better. That's amazing. It's a lot brighter. I look a lot brighter and a lot more bushy-eyed than that darker one. I kind of look like I was hunkered down on a February Zoom call where I was just trying to get through it. Anyway, yeah, Monarchs went a rough one last night. Happy to see Cleveland go, I suppose, but you're going to see them next week. I was talking to Brett Allred, their play-by-play voice, about this last night before they left. I don't know if that's going to be enough to make up. They got to make up a lot of ground. I mean, they got a long way to go and about half the season to get there. They got there basically in half a season. Not saying they can't finish in the wild card hunt and be the top 4, but ask them to catch Chicago is going to probably be a tough task. But they can definitely catch the Garys, and I think they can put some heat on Milwaukee and King County, perhaps. And that 4-game swing there in the middle with King County and Chicago, that helps Cleveland quite a bit. And you just look at their team, adding Casey Clemens and the Kid Hill Alexander, those two pieces sort of kind of brought everything together. And I take you back to last June, we were in Gary, and the Almeida move, and it was kind of the Charcer Burks move and Elroy Albina. Those 3 moves individually weren't going to move the needle, but as a collective, and I think that's what you're seeing, 2 pieces of the puzzle plugged in there for Cleveland, much like we saw last year in June, and everything suddenly all came together for the Monarchs and just sort of rolling. This team's already together here in Kansas City. The ebbs and flows of a season, we were having it. We always like to say the 27 Yankees had it too. Everybody's had it. But this is a bit of a punch in the mouth, guts, whatever you want to say. You looked at the schedule with a lot of road games coming up. You're thinking, well, you're at home against Cleveland. You should maybe get healthy against Cleveland, and that was sort of what you're thinking. Well, in about 2 weeks' time, you've gone from 2 games up to 4 back, a 6-game swing. Now, granted, in 2 weeks' time, you can flip that script as well. But I think what we need to probably, and I'm sure what Joe's going to say, is as fans, we're watching the standings, right? We're wanting to see where we sit in the standings as Fargo. I think Joe's going to be more concerned about how the optics look as taking 2 or 3, winning series, doing the things they've been doing, checking off the boxes. Good starting pitching, check. Solid defense, check. The offense doing what the offense does. Check. The bullpen doing what the bullpen does. All these things that they do that made this club really successful is what they'll be watching. And then you're doing those things. More times than not, you're going to win 2 or 3. I mean, I would tell you, and I said this yesterday on the broadcast, I said it 2 days ago, you've had 2 games this week. You scored, you scored 10 runs on Sunday and lost? Scored 9 runs and lost. Did you score 9 runs twice? What did you score last night? Yeah, scored 7 last night. I mean, you're gonna win those games more times than not. I mean, I would say 90% of the time you're gonna win those games. And it's that crazy spot on the roulette wheel where that came up green 3 times and you're like 00 green. What? It's not supposed to work that way. Your gambling terms. But that's what happens. That's why we play the games, why they wear uniforms too. So with that, we shift to the Gary South Shore Railcats, a team that I think this will be interesting to see how the Monarchs adjust from the last time we saw this club. Now, granted, it was a 4-game series, and I pulled these numbers up last night for Jackson and I had a chat about. I'll pull them up here. In that series, a 2-game split, Kansas City's offense was slowed considerably. No other team had slowed the Monarchs' offense like that team did. Now, granted, .31, got a really solid pitching overall. I had a King Bostic 6-inning performance with 1 earned run. I got 4 innings from Matt Hartman and 2 earned runs in his kind of swing spot there. So Lewis Thorpe with 3 earned. Yeah, I don't know about the freezing. I don't know. Very frozen. I'm frozen. I'm looking at it right now. I don't know where I'd be without you, Mom. You're the only one watching. But back to the whole Gary thing. The flip of the coin for Gary, they didn't set the world on fire at the plate either. They only hit 182 and hit the 1 home run. The 1 home run they did hit was a game winner. You recall that game winner they had. Head-to-head, 2.92 ERA, so slightly higher, but not by much. They got really good starting pitching in that series from a couple of guys you're going to see. Heidenfelder, I believe, goes on Sunday. He went 5 innings, no earned runs. The 1 run was charged, 4 strikeouts. The Nick Garcia was outstanding. He went 5 innings of 4 strikeouts. Those 2 combined for 10 innings, 6 hits, and 1 run. It was unearned with 8 strikeouts. Those 2 pieces for them, and the other starter for them will be, let me pull this up for you. I don't have it handy here. It will be somewhere. John Sheeks, who we've not seen. He did not pitch in that series, and he is but Garcia and Heidenfelder will go Saturday, Sunday. The Monarchs have been very good second time against guys, even as tough as a guy like Patrick Leday. Remember, Leday was very tough, but the Monarchs ground out a win here a week ago. And even though Leday was outstanding, tossed 2 quality starts against us, so did John Harris, and each one got a hard luck loss. But I would tell you that this team's a little different here in this ballpark against teams like Gary. The one difference I think about Gary and Sioux City, I think the starting pitching slightly an edge for the Railcats, but the bullpen slightly a little edge for Sioux City. The offense, I think, is a totally different game. Sioux City does have, the Nate Sampsons of the world, Sebastian Zawada. There's a couple of guys that Gabe, first baseman is Joe Blank. I mean, they got some pieces there that can sort of put a little fear in you. This Gary club, despite being a new manager and having a different philosophy, they still play a lot of the same small ball that has given the Monarchs fits in the past, but not so much this year. Because when you think about it, Sioux Falls beat you by out-bashing you, okay? Sioux City beat you by nip and tuck with the pitching, and it wasn't the offense necessarily. It was just those good head-to-head matchups over there. Over here, you knocked them around pretty good. I mean, you had the 1-1, you had the 1-run win, a couple of 3-run and a what was it 7-run win. I think this series is a little more like that without the nip and tuck. I think the Monarchs have the ability, and I think this is a tough spot for Gary. Gary's played very well lately. They found themselves right in the mix up in that East, but Kansas City, you kind of the old poke the bear thing. You've got got an upset Monarchs down there. Jackson was saying last night he thought for the first time he saw some pretty angered faces down there, and they were frustrated. They really got it taken to them to Cleburne, and they want to get back out there. And tonight happens to be Gary's the next team up for 3 nights, and it's hey, we got let's get this thing right. And I don't expect many. I don't expect it was like last year. I think there was 2 losing streaks of three games. I'd be shocked at that if you're going to have anything more than that all year. This club's just too good. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but I'm just telling this club's too good, and that's what we were talking about last night. It's where the losses happen and how long they can occur, and it's the optics of them. And I think that's what some of the guys, some of you fans are talking about last night. It just the losses have been close, and they've not been any stinkers, but there's been a couple stinkers this week. And hey, Cleburne, it's maybe the high water mark for Cleburne, and I thought about that this morning. Maybe they did. Maybe this is their high water mark. Maybe they're back. Maybe they come back to pack again. And that's something this league does, and what the game does, it brings you back to the pack. And the Monarchs coming back to the pack a bit. I expect at some point Fargo to do the same thing. When? I have no idea. And they look really, really, really good. I was telling this last night to somebody, John Updike, when I was talking about this last night on the air, on our chat on MixLR. That Fargo Moorhead team reminds me a lot of the Kansas City team last year, which remind me a lot of a couple of really good teams. There was a Sioux City team in 15 that did not win the title. There's a Wichita team in 13 and in 14 that lost the title, won a title. And there was the St. Paul team, who I thought was just phenomenal, 2019, that were head and shoulders about what we've seen in this league for a while and playing. Not so much just the talent and also where they're playing. So, and Brad's saying, Brad, I was just talking about this a while ago, Brad. We're talking about you and I talking about this last night. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I was going to say from a Sioux City standpoint. Remember when Sioux City swept the Monarchs, what'd they do? They got swept by Cleburne. And you're only as good as what you can stack together. You can stack those series together. I remember Greg Taggart talking about this to me when I was in Gary on stacking series. Joe talks about it in a sense that he says winning your series, just keep winning your series. And that's what we said. You get fired up. Oh, a 10-game winning streak. That's great. A 6-game losing streak. That's not so good. Well, what happened that time? Well, you won 2 series, split another, and lost the other 2. I mean, and you're kind of doing this if you're stacking series wins together. It's not very sexy winning 2 of 3, but you look up, you've gone 6-3, 12-6. You slowly make the rise, and that math works in your favor. And Cleburne goes home; they can get it knocked around and continue what they're doing. And like Brad and I talked last night, just from their standpoint, and I love to talk about the league in general. Will it be enough to catch Chicago? I doubt it, but definitely enough to catch Gary. Yeah, be careful. The Cats can't do it at home, but they touched. I'm not. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you, Keith, from top to bottom, the rosters aren't comparable. But that doesn't mean that's going to be a series win. I'm just telling you. I mean, that's why you play the games. You know that. We know that. Top to bottom, the Monarchs roster it's not the same. This Railcats roster would not even be compared to the 2013 championship roster they had, which was really good. And the highlight in the Grand Tech, it's different breed of Cats now because Greg Taggart's not there anymore. But yes, I mean, they're dangerous. But I like the situation for Kansas City, only from the standpoint of every time this team over the last, and I say this team, every time a Joe Capiatra team has had these punch in the guts, what do you want to call it, they've managed to find a way out of it and respond with something really positive. And we saw that here when the Sioux City series come right back, and Milwaukee didn't know what hit them. I mean, Milwaukee really. I remember talking to Anthony Barone. He's like, "Wow, that was something else." And I think Milwaukee's got something going. I think Milwaukee will close the gap in the East at some point. So I mean, but yeah, I agree. Yeah, you can't. Here's the deal, Keith, and you're right. You can't walk out there. And Joe said this to us on Monday night, and he said it to us last Friday night. You just can't walk out there, look at a record. He did. I'm paraphrasing here, but you just can't go out there and say, well, because we're going to win. You can't do that. Baseball's not like that, and really any sport's not like that. Because any given day, the numbers favor Kansas City, but again, the numbers favor Kansas City against Cleveland, and we saw what happened. And I go, just a final thought on Cleveland. I think they really have got an opportunity here. And it's like those, like I said, Brad, earlier, I don't know if you caught this, Brad, but the two pieces you've added and the Alexander and Clemens remind me a little bit. Granted, the standings are different, but when the Monarchs added three pieces, Almeida, Burks, and Elray Obina all in June of last year. Individually, and actually, I'll even throw Jake Mathis in there. That he came a couple of days earlier. Individually, nothing was going to raise the. I mean, I guess Casey Clemens is going to raise the bar a little bit, but individually, it wasn't going to change the world. But collectively, it did. It was those pieces of the puzzle that all of a sudden everything fit together. And for you guys, that's a good thing. Thanks to the Monarchs fans being so kind. Yes, I don't know if you guys saw this, and I'll try to get some video out for you guys on Monday if I can get around. God, it's going to be tough, though. I'm flying Monday morning. I don't know if we'll do a show Monday. I'm not thinking about it. Just realized I've got 8 o'clock, 7:30 flight Monday morning. Well, anyway, maybe Tuesday. Maybe I'll get really good scene. And I think this shows you what this league can do. We go back and forth. I was talking about Twitter last night, a lot of Twitter wars and knee jerks and poke the bears and all that nonsense. Another league encourages that. They've got a social media guy that's his bit. That's what they want to do. I get it. It's fun. It creates drama and interest, and people get all fun. And the Dogs fans are mad at the Milwaukee fans, are mad at the Gary fans, are mad, I'm saying, Kansas City fans at the Sioux City and Sioux City at Cleveland. It's fun stuff. It's good ribbing. It reminds you a lot of what happens in Australia because everybody's so close-knit over there. Very, very close. I think it's great. That being said, sometimes we forget that we're also just all mates. We're all trying to do the same thing. And Cleveland's trying to grow their brand and support their team, what we're trying to do. And sometimes you put those rivalries aside and get a great opportunity to share a love of a game, a love of people, and common good. And seeing last night, the last couple of nights, Brett Allred's son Asher, who is just a phenomenal young man, and I talked about him a couple of days ago. He and I agree on everything except for the Mavericks, but to see him down there bat boying, we acknowledge that, and I thought it was great what Morgan did with Nate acknowledging that and acknowledging he was the bat boy and who he was here when fans gave him an ovation. That's a feel good, and it cost us absolutely zero. It didn't cost a dime. That made somebody feel good. It made the Cleveland folks feel good, and I think I hope it makes the league feel good. I have no idea if the league knows, but that's a story. That's something to share. The league should be sharing as well. And I'm not, that's not my gig, but good gesture to your rival. But yes, appreciate you, man. I'm so glad to see Brad back on the road again too. I mean, it worked out where he's able to get back going again. It's what his passion is, what he wants to do. I get it. It's what I do, and unfortunately, I wasn't doing it last weekend, and it broke my heart. And I'm not afraid to tell you that. You guys know that. I've talked about it. Keith, I love you, man. Let's see what you got here. But Keith is a legend in Kansas City. And Gary, no one wants to get swept. No, that's the thing. I would have told you, let's just say the Monarchs win extra innings on Tuesday and win one of the last two games. I would be worried. Because that's the classic trap series, which we saw with Cleveland in Sioux City 2 weeks ago. Big high, boom. And, Monarchs had the same thing happen to them against Chicago. Swept Chicago, went to Sioux City. I mean, these things come at you in waves. What matters is that last series. That's what matters. What happens up September 16th, 17th, somewhere in there, that's the one you need to be worried about. Because that's the one you got to win because they know tomorrow. And but yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, so nobody never forget. And I told you, Brad, last night, and Brad and I were chuckling about this, but I'll tell this again. I told this on the radio last night. I told this story on the radio. I can envision young Asher Allred. He's going to be going to his school at Grandview in Texas and walking in the first day of school. And, Mrs. Snodgrass is the teacher. And she's going to say, well, kids, welcome to fourth grade. What was your summer like? That's our first assignment. Everybody has to write the next hour what their summer was like and give a presentation. Asher just smiles and looks in his little desk, pulls the desktop up, sees his lineup card in there, and sees his railroader kit. He's kind of closes the desk. And little Johnny gets up and says, well, we went to Colorado and went to my grandparents' lake house. And, we got to go to the Fort Worth Zoo. Oh, that's great. Cool, Johnny. Little Susie gets up and says, well, we got to go to Disneyland. It was pretty cool, but we got to go to Grand Canyon. I didn't think it was that cool. And we got to swim in a hotel pool. And, well, that's pretty much what we did. Oh, great. And all the kids are like, oh, wow. Asher, what'd you do? Well, I know I was the bat boy of the Cleveland Railroaders. I also made the lineup card out, rode the team bus, broadcast with my dad, helped them win a series against Kansas City as the champions, and basically managed the team. All the kids are going to go. I can hear the conversation, little Johnny, little Susie that night. They go home on the dinner table. Picture picture young Sheldon's family, right? That show. Picture that. Classic Texas family. And they're hanging around the dinner table. And, Mom, Dad, did you hear about Asher? He's like runs a baseball team. Our summer sucked. I can hear that. That's what you're going to hear. Fall. So anyway, Cleburne. Folks ownership value. Yes, they do value him. He's a good man. Hope. What was that? Yeah, he was. Yeah, your children love seeing him out there too. Definitely love seeing him out there too. Yeah, y'all were having a conversation. Well, not you, but last night, Stino and Hope, and then we're all having a conversation about the kiddos running around the dugouts and all that. I missed some of that. I'll have to get back with you guys on that about that. Brad liked it. League is is so balanced. I expect. Yes. Arthur, I'm with you on that. We're in that lull right now. The World Series is over, College World Series. The draft is coming. Usually by now the draft has already happened, right? We had the June draft usually the old June draft would be, 3 weeks ago. And they're starting to sort out rosters in the lower levels. Remember, there's fewer teams. And they're drafting, the draft is still moved back a little bit. It'll be interesting to see what happens when the draft happens, because I think what you're going to see then is, all right, do we move the guy to AA to AAA? Do we move this arm up? What do we do? Where we have holes in our system, what can we grab? When we have this guy rated pretty high in indie ball, he might slot us right into high A. Let's see what we got there. And that's you'll start to see. I think you'll see some movement. And you'll also see some movement of guys maybe getting released to AAA and AA who, when the draft happens, they need an older player. They need an insurance policy. They need a good arm that they, an Eric Stout who's at AAA with the Indians, with Pirates, like Guardians. I'll do that forever. It's just like the Washington football team. I'll do that forever. He's at AAA in the wings. Of course, he got the call up with the Cubs already, and you may see some of those type guys from this league. And there's some good ones out there. I mean, I don't know why a team doesn't say, you know what, we had this Miles Smith back in 2000 whatever, but his numbers are higher and he rates higher than cross-checking than he did then. Maybe we got something here. What is going to hurt us to give him a shot at high A and see what he can do? He does okay. They can always move to AA. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's what Miles Smith with Milwaukee. I throw his name out there. But, yeah, you're right on about that, Arthur. I think you're dead on about that. Keith says, yes, Keith's a fellow lumber recovery specialist. He is. Keith is I used to call myself and Gary the oldest intern in the league when I was in my first year in Indiana. My first year in Indiana, I literally worked for a guy that was half my age. John Moses is a good kid. He's doing great things with Altoona, the Pirates AA. But I was his guy, and I was older, but obviously quite a bit. But I was the oldest intern in the league. I felt pretty comfortable when Keith was bat boying because he was the older bat boy and I was the older intern. And that's good with that. So anyway, all right. All right, tonight, Morgs, where are you? Come over here, Morgan. I got a microphone for you, too. I know she's probably like going, gosh, Dan's going to bug me, make me come over here. She's coming over, I'm sure. 1, 2, 1, 2. Big weekend of baseball. Big weekend of baseball. What'd you say? Oh, Brad. Loving it. It is 4th of July weekend. And it is, where's my sheet? There we go. Here's my sheet. I got these great hot sheets, which kind of a cheat sheet where I can kind of look on my left here. When I'm on the air, and just kind of look to my left and go, okay, I got that, got that, got that. But right now, the jersey auction's going on. Here we go. Show you the sheet. That's going on right now. They're pretty cool. I had a chance to go up there and check them out. I was down. Yeah, John West and I were in there at the clubhouse a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Look at these, pretty cool, pretty cool." Oh, look who's here, folks! It's Nick. Where you been all day?
Been looking for houses.
Oh, he's been house hunting.
Been slinging so much tickets.
He's slinging so much tickets. He had a stack of cash. He had to like go buy a house.
Yep.
I walked in and it was like the computer was ice cold over there. Usually when I walk in or at lunchtime, his keyboard's like smoldering from like his. He's one of those typers. It's like he's like anyway. So yeah, so walked down to the clubhouse and John's got all the jerseys hung up, and I'm like, oh wow, those are cool. So you can get those. They're on the website. There's a lot of ways to do it. It's and again, we went through it last night. Proceeds benefiting the Negro Leagues Museum, of course. Jersey auction, autographed game-worn jerseys. Ends at 11:59 on Monday night. 11, not 58, 7. When that thing clicks over to July 5th, you done, and that's what you've won. And we had a really successful jersey auction with the Monarchs. What was that, a week and a half ago? And I'm sure this one will be very much the same as that. Then our Saturday night fireworks show, of course, Saturday night fireworks. It is 4th of July weekend, and I imagine, because they've been great, the last couple shows we've had have been phenomenal. And the reason I can tell you this, I'll be on the post-game show, and I'm looking out there going, and all of a sudden we come back from a break, and I'm like, oh, wait, I'm fumbling through my stuff here to get going again because it's so good. And then the concert, the big day on Sunday, this is a pretty cool deal all day, basically. You got the normal Sunday when we open up the gates and folks can come in and do their thing. But we've got a post-game concert, David Cook and Cassie Joy. We talked about this in the broadcast last night as well. Contestant on The Voice. Cassie was The Voice national recording artist, and she's a native of Kansas City. And then David Cook, American Idol winner, season 7, when was that? How many? Is that long ago? Have they been doing that long? How long has Idol been on? Like, okay, I lost touch with TV. Well, I should say TV, network TV shows when Survivor was like in season 6. I'm like, and they've been doing Survivor for what, forever? So yeah, I guess they've been doing Idol forever. But yeah, I know it's a big deal. I know people love it, and it's a big play. It's kind of a big deal in Australia too because they do Australian Idol. They also do. It's funny because they try to do the thing now in Australia where they will do, like say the show airs Tuesday night in the States. Well, that Wednesday night in Australia, that same show airs. I mean, it's very funny how they do that. Auctions by me? No, 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 no. Old friend of mine. Gosh, I've known her forever, and no. I guess I could. You know what? I guess I could. It would be maybe I do for the Ronald McDonald House or for the Negro Leagues Museum. I do that. Is Morgan on the phone? Oh, she's on the phone. Thought she was going to join us. All right. Well, I'm stalling here. I will take questions and comments about anything baseball related, not garment related. Oh, there she is. Here, put your mic on. You got a mic. This is our fancy mics. Let me slide over, and you slide over here, and you slide there. There we go. All right. Now I was kind of trying to stall on the whole deal. There she is, Morgan Clinda. She is. Let me move this out of your face there. I don't want you to be behind the logo
okay.
there. Be behind the logo.
You can block my face.
All right. Now, because I just read everything that's going on. So just all right. 3, 2, 1. What are we doing this weekend?
Happy 4th of July.
Yay!
Yay.
Da, 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 da. Nick's got a little Uncle Sam hat behind us, waving a flag. Come on,
You're
Nick.
a grand old flag.
There we go. That's what we're doing.
Well, tonight we are introducing a new drink that you can get at the ballpark. It's called the Bombora Blast drink. It comes with like one of those little bomb pops.
Oh, the bomb pop
drink.
drink. Oh.
And we also have a chicken Philly that's new this year or this weekend. Sorry. And then we have a barbecue, like onion ring, pepper jack, macaroni and cheese burger thing.
Huh.
You'll have to go to the barbecue stand and grab it because it's pretty good.
You're ringing too.
Yeah.
All right. So, I won't keep you long. Okay. So tonight, everything's tonight. Tomorrow night, fireworks. Yes. And
fingers crossed.
So yeah, well, fingers crossed and patriotic jams. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've got all those pulled.
It's Salute to Service night. So Western Governors University is going to be out here, and we have a rock climbing wall at Gate B.
Right.
It's like 30 feet tall. So they have all the equipment. All you got to do is go over there and maybe sign a waiver, and you can do the rock climbing wall. And we're going to do a whole bunch of brand new in between inning games and activities. We're going to do a couple of those tonight, actually, and give them a test run. But we have the owl mascot of the Western Governors. Right. He will be out here as well with Monty. So we'll have 2 mascots.
Monty's got a mate to hang out with.
That's right.
All right. Trouble.
And the team's going to be wearing their patriotic jerseys. And what else we got planned for tomorrow?
Something. I don't know. I'm sure
everything's military.
Yes. But the jersey auction, which I showed you guys this earlier.
Oh, we have a rally towel giveaway.
Oh, the rally towel, which is
yeah, we're doing 1,000 rally towels.
Promised to show you guys this yesterday, and I was going to show it today. Here we go.
And they're really nice. They're not like cheapo. They're like chamois material rally towels.
Oh, those are cool.
Nice. Yeah. So you get one of those if you come to the game early, and we have happy hour from 4 to 6.
Yes, and then we got a Sunday, which is like the Sunday.
It's like the extravaganza.
It's Sunday, then Sunday. Sunday, then it's like 2 Sundays together.
It is, yeah.
The post-game concert, everything we're still doing early, but we just throw the concert at the back end of it.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so we have this. Now David Cook was in the Idol, but I guess I must quit watching Idol a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he won American Idol 2007.
Okay,
so season 7. Cassie Joy, she's from she's from around here. So
saw her on the board last night.
Yeah, so they're going to be performing after the game, and we get a lot of questions about this. You don't need to come and stay for the entire game. If you want to come during the 4th inning of the game and then stay for the concert, that's fine. All you need to do for the concert is just get a ticket to the game. Right?
Gotcha.
So you can buy a GA ticket and you can come during the 7th inning and then stay for the concert. If whatever. If you want to stay the whole time,
I'd love for you to stay the
Come
whole
on.
time.
Yeah, so would I.
I'm one who would think I'd stay the whole time, have a cold sud and get some sun, and then have a little show and some more suds and maybe one of those bomb pop drinks, and another one of the bomb pop drinks, those kind of things. That's what I would do. So anyway.
We also have a military softball game before the Monarchs game
Gotcha.
on Sunday.
Gotcha.
So we'll have some military servicemen and women in the house Sunday as well, and paying tribute to them. That'd be fun.
All right, I have one more thing, because somebody asked me last night on the broadcast. You guys did a game last night where there was a chair and they were sitting on each other or something.
That was a balloon bust.
Balloon bust. And one of the fans said, he was watching, I guess. He goes, that thing's what did he say? Something about that should be like two brothers doing that, because that's like something two brothers who grew up would hurt each other, would try to deliberately dump them down. It was funny.
Usually we get husbands and wives,
right.
Then they can just beat the crap out.
That's what I said. I said, yeah, husbands and wives, brothers, all that. That was good. That was good stuff. Good show last night. You guys rocked it.
Thank you. Yeah.
I
try.
Now you got to do something about the team winning though. That's another thing I do. We'll get it going.
I don't want to jinx it.
We'll get going. Thanks.
Yep.
All right. See, I told you these mics are cool, aren't they?
They are very cool.
Thank you, Wargs. There she goes, Morgan Kalenda. She is the legend of this ballpark. I'm telling you right now. Oh, that was my hubby. It should be siblings that have no regrets. Yes, exactly. Keith says, "Can I Uber that burger?" Yeah, you can try. I should give away. Yeah, well, I'll try. Maybe I'll try that, Candace. Maybe that's a good idea. Thanks to Morgan for stopping. I know she's busy. They're really getting the phone's ringing here, and I just kind of in their space. This little cubicle is the broadcast booth from like 7 to 10. Other than that, this is like sales and stuff central, and I get to hang out here, so it's kind of cool. Anyway, all right, which takes you to broadcast tonight. Last night, I believe we were the first and only club to pull this off this year. There were 5 different things coming out of this ballpark last night. I challenge any major league club to do this. We had home radio, audio stream, visiting audio stream for Cleburne. We had Cleburne's audio on the American Association video going out of here. We had our audio on the American Association video and A Baseball TV going out here. That's 4. We had a booth cam coming out of here that you're watching right here. And then we had the American Association Game of the Week on Facebook on a clean feed to Carter Waddell, and he was doing it kind of Manning cast style. 6 streams last night coming out of the stadium. Pretty impressive. And I challenge any league out there to beat that. I don't know if there is. I mean, the American Association is rocking it. That's a big deal to have that kind of coverage in 2 markets that are 9 hours apart. And that was great to see, cool to see. I haven't pulled the numbers yet, but I would imagine, just my guess, those 6 streams probably brought us close to 400 viewers, which doesn't sound like a lot to you folks, but I'm telling you, when you've got half that's a paid crowd, it's pretty daggum good. I mean, that's really pretty good. And where this thing was a year ago, how far we've come, that's a great deal. The radio did take a little bit of a dip last night, but it's just a lot of that because it all of a sudden in the 6th inning, everybody disappeared when you gave up 10 runs. I'm like, well, let's talk about the 1943 Monarchs. And some folks stayed around for that. We did dive in last night to the 3I League, talked about the Decatur Commies, a.k.a. the Commodores, which was what they were called. True story. Talked about them and Carl Hubble, who was their Hall of Famer, who nearly wasn't. A story I didn't even know about, but Carl Hubble, if you guys know this, the famous Hall of Fame San Francisco Giant, he almost wasn't a Giant, almost wasn't a ball player at all. As a matter of fact, Ty Cobb said, "Hey, you're not any good. We don't need you." So the Tigers got rid of him. He's playing indie ball down in Texas, the Texas League, and a scout for the Giants happened to be in Houston for the Democratic National Convention in 1928. and goes to watch a ball game there in Houston, the Texas League game, and sees Hubble pitch and contacts the Giants, contacts legendary manager McGraw and says, hey, this guy can pitch. And eventually he does wind up pitching and becoming a legend and going to the Hall of Fame. So we learned about that last night. So you miss these things. Also talked about the Monarchs and their travels across the highways and byways of America from 1943. So anyway, you never know what you're going to learn on the broadcast is why I tell you this, okay? Because always something out there, and you never know what you might find. So tonight the broadcast on MixLR begins at 6:30. The broadcast on AA Baseball TV. I will tell you this. You won't want to miss, if you're not, put it this way, if you're not here tonight, you will not want to miss the pregame show. That's all I'm going to say. And I mean that on AA Baseball TV and on MixLR. Okay, there you go, AA Baseball TV right there. You will not want to miss AA Baseball TV or MixLR tonight during the pregame. I'm just quite simple. Don't want to miss it, okay? You want to see that. All I'm going to say. And that'll be begin around 6:40-ish on the TV side. Radio begins at 6:30. And that's where this can be. You can find that. There we go right there. Radio side right there. MixLR. And that'll come your way to tonight from Legends Field in Kansas City. Tickets at monarchsbaseball.com. Monarchsbaseball.com for tickets and information right now. And again, pitching matchup. I didn't give you that either. Pitching matchup tonight. Where did I put that? There we go. Tonight, I mentioned that they are going with a new arm, and that will be John Sheeks going tonight, right-hander. And the Monarchs will send out. Make sure I got my rotation correct here. It's Harris, Hartman, and Belzer. That sounds like 3 games that you don't want to miss to me. 7 o'clock tonight, first pitch. 6 o'clock tomorrow on Sunday. And then the 3 o'clock start time on, Saturday. Sunday's 3 o'clock. There we go. That's my times there for you. All righty. That's all we got today. Thanks for Morgan for stopping by. Rally towels. Don't forget you got your jersey auction as well. Check that out. I don't know why I don't have a slide for that. I always got good slides for that. I don't know why I dropped the ball this week. I got to do a better job next week on that. Not dropping the ball on that. All right, last call, questions, comments here on Monarchs Mocha, brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company. There are 6 locations in Kansas City. There's one near you. I prefer the location down on Southwest with the DC-3 atop it. That's the factory drive-through. It's a great location. There's also, I spent some time the one in Leawood as well. Right down at Children's Mercy, right down to our friends at Ronald McDonald House. It's 6 locations, Roastery Coffee Company. They also had a drink on this homestand made out of coffee and booze. Apparently it was pretty good, according to Jim Cundiff, our VP of Hospitality. So anyway, didn't test it in the air. Maybe we'll do that this weekend. All right, last call for questions and comments. Glad you guys stopped by. Should be a great night for baseball. Looking forward to seeing out the ball yard. Easy on the rail cats, please. Oh, the cats, please. Yes, we will. Keith, my final thought, it was weird going to Gary and seeing the rail cats without Greg Taggart. It was just a weird deal. For so long, we're so used to seeing Greg do what he does. Which is weird. Lamar Rogers, by all accounts, and I've heard from my sources there, everybody up there in Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland, South Side, Lamar is just a phenomenal guy. I've heard great things. I think a lot like last year for George Samus, year 2 for him will be the real big leap. It's that first year getting things kind of turned around. What you inherited, what you're going to bring in. I think he's going to be really good for this league, really good for that area. And I've heard nothing but great things. I've got a lot of dear friends from that organization who have just raved about him. And I think but it was still weird. It was still very, very weird to see that Taggart not being there. And it was just weird. I can't really describe it, but it'll still be weird not seeing him come here and say, Dan, ballpark looks great. Glad to be here. Greg loved coming to Kansas City. Greg looked forward to the trip here. It was always a big highlight in his summers with the Railcats. He loved bringing the team here, and it was always a big deal. I remember my first time here going to the Walmart up the street and being a big deal, and the Target, both stops on way in and out of town. I don't know the status on Tommy, to be honest with you. WD-40 brings that up, and I need to find that out. Tommy is their PA guy there, and he's a legend. He is fallen on some health issues, and I don't know the update there. Tommy Williams, I don't know. I wish I'd have checked this morning before I came on the air. I haven't had a chance to check. Go Monarchs. We close this thing out. Let me bring this down so we can do that. Little 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. You folks ready? I still see. I think Keith, let me update here. Yes, he's out of the hospital. Okay, good. I reached out, but I knew that he was not where he can get messages back. Keith, if you see him before I get a message to him, would you please tell him much love from me and my wife? And I know I've told Gary and Georgette that too, the Skoderskis as well, and from the Monarchs family, wishing him the best. All right, out of the hospital. Good news, good news. All right, little go 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. Except for Keith. Keith, not do that. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. I'll see you in the broadcast. Not everybody.